Hi, I'm Raleigh Brown, and this is number 64, the 64th curve flattening concert. And I have to do one little thing here because we don't want those little noises coming in as people come on. Hi, Phil. Hi, Tom. Hi, Andreas. Hi, my lovely wife, Janice. Hi, Donna Greenberg. We're great. Okay, there's enough people for us to convene the service. Flying by the seat of our pants this morning, we are, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we go along. Hi, Judy Wong. And yes, and Judy Wong said, hi, Janet. This is an important thing about my wife. The best thing to do is call her Jan, because if you call her anything else, you're almost bound to call her Janet, which is not her name. Her name's Janice. But Jan covers both bases. Everything works. Anne, hey, great. And John David Sprouse, things are improving. Good. I'm glad to hear it, John. And James Leo, nice to see you. Wayne and Diney. Okay, here we go. Let me get to work on this. I've been walking in my sleep, counting troubles instead of counting sheep. Where the years went, I can't say. I just turned around, they had flown away. I've been sifting through the layers of dusty books and faded papers. They tell a story I used to know, one that happened so long ago. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change directions across the Great Divide. Now I heard the owl calling softly as the night was falling, with a question, and I replied that she was gone across the borderline. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change directions across the Great Divide. Finest hour that I have seen is the one that lies between the edge of night and the break of day. It's when the darkness rolls away. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change directions across the Great Divide. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change directions across the Great Divide. That's Kate Wolf's beautiful song. Hi, Alex. Good to see you. and Andreas. So here we are. It's Sunday morning. It's hot as hell here. Hi, Charles Ortolani, my old buddy. I've already said hello to a bunch of you. Oh, good. Carol Pratt is here because she figures strongly in the next song. If you don't like it, blame Carol Pratt. So here's what happened. Yesterday I did, what did I do? I did Abraham, Martin, and John. That was kind of an audible. I hadn't intended to do it, and then John Lewis died, and it seemed like the thing to do. And it's a beautiful song. And we talked a little bit about Sam Cooke, who Dion had traveled with, and there's a great song, Dion's song for Sam Cooke, which you can find on YouTube. Okay. So Carol Pratt wrote me afterwards and said, why don't you do another Sam Cooke song? So I thought, well, cool. I love the song Change Is Gonna Come. Then I went back and listened to it and said, no white man should be singing that song. It could be probably done if you put it into the third person and said he was born by the river. But I looked around. I listened to a bunch of Sam Cooke songs. I grew up on You Send Me. Whoa, that one. And so I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do any of the ones that were kind of like, it's Saturday night and I don't have my baby or anything like that. And so I came up with a song I'd never heard by Sam Cooke. And then I proceeded to spend most of the evening last night reinventing it so that it would be like if Raleigh Brown played a Sam Cooke song. And, usually if I learn a new song, it takes maybe a month for it to kind of gestate. Occasionally on these concerts, you've heard me do something I just wrote or something like that. But this one, it's got about 12 hours of practice in. So here we go. This is for Carol Pratt. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way. Keep moving on. Every day. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way. Keep moving on. Every day. When I go to sleep at night, I add up my day, trying to recall the things and the debts I ought to pay. But there is one thing that I know, that what you reap will be what you sow. Keep moving on. Life is that way. Yeah, keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, keep moving on. Every day, keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, keep moving on. Every day. Now, brother, mind out what you do and how you treat your fellow man. Well, if you're like me, you'll try and live the very best you can. For if you spread good all around, you'll be able to sleep when the sun goes down. Keep moving on, 'cause life is this way. 'Cause there is one thing that I know, that you will reap just what you sow. Keep moving on. Life is this way every day. Sam Cooke. So, and Carol Pred prodded me into doing that. I hope you liked it. It could be good after I play it for a couple more months. It has that feel a little bit like, it's a song, a Ray Charles song that I can't remember the name of, the one that starts, when I wake up in the morning, she brings me a coffee with my favorite cup, that thing. Anyhow, okay, so it's request day apparently, and I don't know if my other requester is here, but he's just going to have to come back and listen to it later. Maybe a little in the early in the morning for Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen may not wake up this early in the morning. You know, it's possible. So, but he requested. He requested a Joseph Spence tune. Now, Joseph Spence, for those of you who don't know, was a Bahamian guitarist, a very eccentric character, and very eccentric musician. He was kind of the Reverend Gary Davis of Bahamian music, and so that meant that he had very cool syncopated rhythms. He had interesting harmonies and contrary motion and lines moving in his stuff, and at the same time it had a very primitive sound to it. Here comes Suki. You want to come over here and be on the camera? There's the tail. I don't know. Oh, that's the head. Lift that head up. Yay! So Suki's here, and as I've mentioned before, there is a Suki Dog Biscuit Fund at the top of the page where you checked in to get on this link. There's always a link. It's PayPal me, Raleigh Brown. And contributions are accepted if you're feeling flush. If not, don't worry about it. Anyhow, so Out on the Rolling Sea is a Joseph Spence tune that I've played for years. And nobody can play just like Joseph Spence, but some of us, we can give it a pretty good try. So here's Out on the Rolling Sea. That's a ramshackle version Oh yeah, Charles Ortolani goes, your guitar needs to be out of tune for Joseph Spence. That's Joseph Spence. I said he was eccentric, but that's one of those famous stories where, and I think it happened in Boston, up where Charlie lives, that he was in a recording studio. He came up from the Bahamas, and they booked some gigs. I think Chris Strakowitz was involved, and some of the other kind of collectors and lovers of his music. And so they'd get him in the studio, and it would always be a little bit out of tune. You know, it would be kind of like a little bit out like that. And now I'm gonna have to retune, of course. So they'd like make this plan, you know, they'd say, hey, get Joseph to come out for, you know, a cigarette or a cup of coffee or whatever, and then we'll go in and tune his guitar, you know. And so they would do that, and they'd get him out of there, and somebody would go in and get it all tuned, and then they, okay, we're ready to go, Joseph. And he'd go back in, he'd put it exactly out of tune like it was before. It was his tuning. But we strive to do better than that. Okay, so let me take another quick look here and give you a little. I'm going to do one more tune for you. So I will be back on Tuesday. Alex is here right now, and I'm pretty sure he won't be here tomorrow. He won't be on doing his stream, and I will let you know when he is doing it again. And there's Andy Cohen. And you're going to have to go back and listen, Andy, because I just played it for you and you were still asleep. So, your problem. But after this is over, you can go back and listen from the beginning. And where was I? I totally lost my train of thought until when I saw Andy's name pop up. Oh, yeah. So, I will be back on Tuesday at 3 p.m. My good friends Cozy Sheridan and Charlie Cooke will be Tuesday morning at 10:30. And they do a wonderful half-hour concert every Tuesday morning, and they're just a joy to listen to, as is Alex when he's on. And Alex is a joy even when he isn't on, but, you know, you won't hear him unless you live nearby. Anyhow, I'm rambling now. So, take care of yourselves. I'll be back after this song. This is, I was going to do another song. I might do it tomorrow, Tuesday, but things were starting to lean towards the dark end of the street. So I decided to go back to something a little happier. Here we are, out of cigarettes, holding hands and yawning. See how late it gets. Two sleepy people at dawn's early light, and too much in love to say goodnight. Here we are, in the cozy chair, picking at a wishbone from the frigid air. Two sleepy people with nothing to say, and too much in love to break away. Do you remember how we used to linger in the hall? Your father didn't like me at all. Remember the reason why we married in the fall? to rent this little nest, get ourselves a rest. So here we are, just about the same. Foggy little fella, drowsy little dame, two sleepy people at dawn's early light, too much in love to say goodnight. Do you remember how we used to linger in the hall? Your father didn't like me at all. Do you remember the reason why we married in the fall? To rent this little nest and give ourselves a rest. So here we are, just about the same. Foggy little fella, drowsy little dame, two sleepy people at dawn's early light, and too much in love to say good night. So good night is not the appropriate ending words here, but I will say have a great day. Take care of each other. Stay safe. Try to stay sane within reason. If you get cranky, take a nap. I love you all, and thank you. Bye-bye.